Mic check 1 2 1 2. Hello everyone, my name is Jaya and welcome to another mini mic'd up series. I know I'm giving different hair, same location. I think this might be my location for a mic'd up series because it tends to be a little more quiet even though there's a leaf blower going right now. I hope you can't hear it. Yeah, let's get started. So I'm giving Canary, if you watch, what is it, Hunter x Hunter, giving Canary. I hope you like her. She's going to be here for the next probably 3 episodes. Did he just crank the leaf blower up a notch? Because this is doing a lot. If you haven't seen my other mini mic'd up series, I suggest you go watch them because it gives a little more context on what I'm talking about. However, in this mini mic'd up series, this one's less about dance, more about entrepreneurship and about trust and faith and spirituality. So if you're one of my spiritual girlies, this episode's for you. This topic for my religious girlies can be a little bit blasphemous, I'll just say. But for my spiritual girlies, you'll get where I'm coming from. So growing up as a Christian, reading the Bible, there were a lot of stories that I just thought were super outlandish. And I was like, did this happen? I don't know, right? And like even thinking that in Christianity is blasphemy, right? But spiritual wise, it's okay to ask those questions when it comes to a Bible that a person wrote, not God. Okay. So if you have an issue with that, I'm sorry. Some of the stories that I was told as a child, like Jonah and the whale, I was like, you're telling me a whale swallowed a whole man? That sounds crazy. Noah's Ark. Like, I mean, ideally, if that really took place, that's super dope. So these stories, I realized growing up, like as a child, I would be so fixated on like how did that happen, but then I realized it through my spiritual journey that these are parables. There's something that a story that you're supposed to get a overall message from. And sometimes I feel like the person who wrote the Bible or the multiple people that wrote the Bible made these stories sometimes so outlandish so you can clearly get the message, right? So another story that really stuck with me as a child was Job. And long story short, if you don't really know anything about Job, Job was a man, he was allegedly rich, and he had everything. And God and the devil pretty much made this bet that Job would, no matter what, still trust and believe in God, even if he went through the craziest things ever. And Job went through some crazy stuff, like all his kids died, lost his property, lost all his fortune, but still through and throughout, Job remained loyal to God. And at the end of the story, long story short, I keep on saying long story short. Anyway, at the end of the story, God restores everything that Job lost because he saw how much Job trusted and believed in him even when he had nothing. He went from everything to nothing, and he still believed in God and trusted God that God was going to bring him through. Now, the story about his whole kids dying and everything, and then God restored the kids, I'm like, so did he have new kids and he was okay with that? Like, are we acting like these people aren't people? Like, you could just replace people and be okay? But like, I don't know. The point of the message is no matter what you're going through, you should trust in God. And I felt like this past couple of weeks I had a Job moment. Not as extreme, but the story still applied to my life, and I would like to share some snippets, not giving too much of my personal business out, but I would like to converse about what I went through a little bit. So this past couple of weeks, I felt like I've been really much so tested with the things that were thrown my way. Without giving too much information, it's been some things that, you know, can really knock someone down and stunt their growth and stop them from pursuing and continuing life. Not like suicidal. That sounded a little suicidal. I mean like that. But just like really a series of unfortunate events, right? And ever since we've moved to California, I feel like, and being like away from family and away from our support system, and normal things, our norm, I feel like God has been really testing my faith and trust in him while being here. Now, when we first got here, we went through something tough and persevered. It was really hard to get through, but we got through it, and I'm on the other side, and I look back and I'm like, wow, the amount of growth that I went through just from going through that is tremendous, and I'm so proud of myself. But things continue to happen. And like, I'm not saying my life isn't great, because my life is fantastic. I love my life. I wouldn't trade it for the world. But like I said, series of unfortunate events have been happening in my life recently that old Jaya would have broke down, wouldn't have got out of bed, wouldn't move. And this new Jaya, like I said, going through all of these things, has just become so much stronger. And I am super duper proud of her. I think that, that's one of the reasons why you go through things, is to make yourself stronger, or God has the intention to make you stronger. And the things that would have broke you, a year ago, a couple months ago, a couple weeks ago, you're able to take on and keep on moving. So in this season, as the recent season that I was in, I would definitely say that if this happened to me months ago, I wouldn't be back up on my feet as I am right now and sitting in front of you telling this story. But I think the message that I have for you today is, even if you don't believe in God, or you don't really have a thing or not a person, because God's not a person, but you don't have an entity that you believe in, trust in. I'm not here to convert you into being spiritual, but I'm definitely here to let you know that the way the universe works, if you keep a positive mindset, even when you're going through something negative, and for me is trusting God, that God's going to bring me through. He always does. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And I think that because I'm on the other side of my storm, I can sit here and say that. And of course, going through the storm, you don't feel that, but you have to think that, because that's the thing that's going to bring you through the other side. If you let your mindset take on what's happening around you, it's very easy to get sucked into it and to stay there. But if you close your eyes and imagine peace, even through the storm, and just take it one step at a time, you will get out. You will make it. And you will continue to go through storms. So it's better just to learn this process now, because storms won't stop. They will keep happening. And it's not about the storm. It's about how your perspective going through it and how you tackle it when it comes. And that's what I've been learning. Like, I think that as a child, I was so bliss and things didn't really happen, Anxiety, stress, and all of that was not a thing for me until I became much older. I started to experience these things, and I'm very grateful for that, not having experienced that as a child, because I know that some of my friends, some of my peers go through that even at a very young age, and I don't think that that's fair, but everything happens for a reason. I definitely have changed my perspective of when I am going through, to be like, okay, here's another one. I'm not going to say, woe is me, why is this happening to me? I'm going to say, what am I going to learn through this? How am I going to keep on getting up and going, and not necessarily focusing on the storm, but focusing on the peace and the lessons and the strength that I'm going to gain when I am through. So, yeah, that's the message today. I know it's not really about dance, but it can apply to anything in your life. I just really want you guys to believe and trust that God, or whatever you believe in, will get you through, as long as you keep a positive mindset and know that at the end of the day, everything will be okay. Just believe it. Easier said than done, of course, but have faith. It'll get better. And as a witness, as a person who literally, like I said, just went through some of the craziest thing I ever went through in my life this past week, and I can sit here smiling in your face today, I'm a witness, I'm a testimony to let you know it will be okay. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys again in another Mic'd Up series, and yeah, it'll be okay. Okay, bye.